Hello there everybody, this is of course Nick broadcasting on the Get Me Off Grid video blog, which is a place where I am charting my progression to off-grid living basically in an urban environment. This wonderful, magnificent palace that I'm living in, this flat, okay, it happens to be a converted car garage, alright, it's a very small environment and I'm living in a urban setting or a suburban setting, so I've got to think about how on earth I'm going to get off-grid with the restrictions that I've got. But my goal is essentially to get off grid, and this is what I'm going to be doing. Alright, we're at a very exciting time in what I call the project, because I can almost smell the time when I'll be able to go as close to completely off grid as is, humanly possible under these circumstances. So it's looking good, it's feeling good, and you're going to start to see some really good changes happening on this one particular channel. It's tremendous. Okay, what I want to talk about today is charging technology, because I'm going to be expanding a battery bank, which means that I'm going to be able to store power, which I'll be able to use to run the TV, which, I've got a 12-volt TV, but I've also got a regular TV as well, also the cable box, also all my kitchen apparatus, which means, I can make myself popcorn, I'll be able to use my deep fryer, I'll be able to use my juicer, I'll be able to use my blender, my steamer, my microwave, essentially some good quality stuff which normal people have. So essentially I'm going to be able to maintain a normal standard of life. This is the goal, okay, a normal standard of life whilst living off grid in a setting such as this one, which is totally cool. If you're going to charge batteries on the battery bank, you need to have a solar charge controller. There's two different types of controllers you can get. One is designed more for wind power, one is designed more for solar power. So think about that, okay? And for both types, you've got PWM, you've got MPPT. PWM is a technology you've probably heard about if you've been here on YouTube and you've done some surfing into the various videos about hydrogen production. It stands for pulse width modulation and refers to controlling the quantity of electricity that goes into the batteries through little pulses. Now it's got some benefits. It's a very cheap form of technology. It does its job, okay, but you do tend to lose half of the quantity of energy which you manage to harvest using your solar panels. So that's a technology which does have some restrictions. Tomorrow I'm going to be paying for and ordering a MPPT charge controller. Okay, that's maximum power point tracking technology, which is more advanced. It harvests much more energy. You can have much more higher power panels, and it can still charge your 12-volt system, which means it's going to be just what the doctor ordered. And I've selected one which appears to be just right for the power which I'm going to be harvesting, so that's great. So the solar side of things is more or less sorted out. Just a few small things away from that, so this is actually truly exciting. It really is truly exciting. And I'm also about to place an order for some lighting, which means that I won't have to use a 240 volt inverter to be able to run the lights. I may still do that occasionally once I've finally taken the leap and I've pulled all the fuses out of the fuse box and turned the fuse box off, the mains fuse box, so that I can do the off-grid thing properly. But I also would like to have a 12-volt system as well. I guess that's a question of backup. I mean, what if your inverter ends up not working anymore, if you get my drift? I just want to be careful. So, it's, we are almost there. Literally almost there. And I'm very excited. Obviously, I want to get to things like thermoelectric devices as well, so I can use either heat or cold as a means of generating extra power to charge up smaller devices such as the cell phone, such as, I know, I do confess I've had to relapse on the electronic cigarette, so obviously I want to keep that nice and charged. And to be able to do so essentially for free. Okay? And I'm also going to be building a bigger and better wood gas stove at some point as well. I was thinking of going onto rocket stove technology, but wood gas stove is essentially easier to build, and so, why not go for it? Okay? This is good. This is actually good. You know, I actually doubted that I'd reach a time within this year when I would be able to smell success being like, you know, that close as far as getting myself to this like green, self-sufficient stage. But yeah, that's where it is. That's where, you know, that's where I'm at. It's tremendously exciting. But even when I've reached the level of completion, there will still be maintenance, and I'll have to show you how I'm going to be doing that. And there will also be new technologies, there'll be events I'll be going to, and I'll be probably taking the camera with me so that you can see basically some of the technologies that other people have. Yeah, to a certain degree I will be running this place almost as if it was a caravan, you know, a recreational vehicle, but obviously one which doesn't have wheels, is made of bricks, is in a fixed location, but it still takes its power from nature itself. Okay, so it's absolutely fantastic. Alright, and doable. This is like, you know, the big thing here. You know, I'm not a high income individual, but if you just like buy one little bit here or one little bit there, after a while you can build up a system. Maybe you won't have it in 1 year, maybe it'll take you 2 years, but you know, you can eventually build it up, or maybe just be a few months for yourself, depending upon what you're getting. If you're planning a solar system, then, you know, 1 week when you got the money, you buy the tabbing wire. The next week, maybe you get the solder. The week after that, if you got a bit more money, you get like the wood or the sealants, or you know, whatever it is, and just bit by bit you build it up. Just have a good model in your mind's eye as to what you want to be able to create. Okay, make sure you stick to the plan to the best of your ability, and only varying things when you come across a problem. Alright, and then you will be able to reach a point of cutting down your bills, having less reliance upon the grid, helping your nation to do without foreign oil. I found out quite recently that we as a nation are actually importing gas, natural gas, from the Middle East, which is being distributed via tankers, okay, not via a pipeline, but via tankers, to our coast, so it can then be stored. And I don't think that that's all that, you know, all that safe for the environment, or safe indeed for us as a nation, or the people who are living on the coast where the gas is being stored. There's got to be a solution, you know, and all this kind of like progression, I believe, has got to happen from like the ground up. From people like me, from people like you, who've got an interest in off-grid living, or environmental consciousness. Because yeah, I'm doing this for my reasons, but I'm also doing this for environmental reasons too. We shouldn't need to just like carry on consuming all the time. There's got to be a limit whereby we can say, you know, I can have the great standard of life that I want, so I can still use a games console, I can still, you know, watch cable TV, have broadband internet access, still use the microwave, still use the popcorn maker, blender, juicer, all that kind of stuff. I can still organize a dinner party and still roast something, let's say, in a halogen oven, and be able to do that without taking energy from the grid, without taking that energy from oil and coal reserves. Alright? We have an environment. Our action, our little actions, the little actions of lots of people, which means you people out there, is having an impact. Even people who don't believe in global warming must be able to see that pollution can't always be a good thing. Alright, it can't be, can it? Alright, so we might as well just use our intelligence, use our ingenuity, develop new industries and new skills and all the rest of that, and start bringing ourselves to a point of freedom. Now, every single time you want to set up like a new form of apparatus or a new system for yourself, it's got to be, you know, it's going to be different for every single application. If you've got more land, you go for more wood gas technology. Okay, I don't have tons of land, therefore alcohol technology is better for myself, because you can do fermenting and distilling at home. Okay, but wood gas, I would need much more space, much more land, which I don't have. Okay, I can use wood gas in the form of little wood gas stoves, and I can use that for hot water, I can use that for cooking when it's dry. Not like right now, we might have a drought in England, we've also got torrential rain. Don't ask, okay? I'm not a meteorologist. But the fact of the matter is, it's doable. And even if you're someone who wants to do something about the environment but doesn't have like time or energy or space, there's still little things you can do. Make yourself a wood gas stove. It just involves a couple of tins with some holes drilled into it, okay? And use it when the weather's good. Outside, just like set it up outside. Maybe you want to buy yourself some wood pellets because they are the best fuel. Or maybe you want to build a bigger one so that you can use sticks and twigs or a less dense wood fuel within your wood gas stove. Okay? There's ways of doing it. If you're electrically orientated, make yourself some solar panels. You don't have to make massive ones. You can just make little ones to charge up a small battery. And you can use that to read by at night. Okay? Just every single time you're turning off your main lights and you're using an off-grid solution, you are essentially saving the grid. Yes, there is a manufacturing cost for everything. Yes, there is a water cost for everything. But when you've got the hard goods and you've built it in a way that means that it's going to last, then you can start using that as an investment, and therefore the ability to produce the energy that you require over a longer period of time. Alright, so it's much more efficient for you, it's much more efficient for the rest of the world for you to get your hands on some kind of off-grid technology. And this is what I'm doing for myself, and what I do for myself, I'm doing for you as well, because I'm showing you that stuff is possible. Okay, I'm showing you that this can actually be done. When I made my first ever wood gas stove, alright, and I saw it going, okay, this was like a very small system, just a couple of very small tin cans, and I used wood pellets. It was a very windy day, and the wind got into the vent holes underneath, alright, and acted like a fan, and really added to the production of wood gas, and we got massive flames. And I used those flames to make myself a nice hot cup of tea. And the buzz I got from making my first truly off-grid cup of tea was fantastic. As far as new experiences are concerned, you can have them. Do it. Do something about it.